while living in Turkey is a chore for Europeans. 1. The concept of time is vague. In Turkey, 5 minutes means an hour. Don't expect anyone to come on time. This applies equally to parties and appointments. Calling or messaging people doesn't help. Ask them where they are, and the reply is always the same. I'm on my way. That doesn't mean anything. They might show up 2 minutes or 2 hours later. 2. Red tape is everywhere. Dealing with bureaucracy is a nightmare. It always involves reams of paperwork. It's also likely to turn into a Kafkaesque maze. You'll be redirected to a different department time and again. All of them have different schedules and addresses. Official advice will always be contradictory, but you can hire a local to do it for a fee. That's actually the fastest way to get things done. 3. Everyone's a tradesperson. Be careful when looking to hire a tiler or electrician. If you tell it to someone, they'll immediately offer their own services. They'll guilt trip you into accepting the offer. You will be left very disappointed with the results. Trade training and qualifications in Turkey are often poor. Get a referral from someone reliable. 4. Turkish soap operas are bizarre. It's not like you have to watch them, but everyone else does. Turkish soaps make Bollywood look realistic. They're always over the top melodramatic. Everyone is constantly yelling and crying. But this is the most popular art form in Turkey. Expect to see them playing in cafes, salons, malls, and buses. 5. Personal details are meant to be shared. This is enough to drive some Westerners crazy. People you've just met will tell you everything. How much they make, what their marriage situation is like, how old they are. They'll complain about illnesses, sometimes in gross detail. The problem is, you're expected to reciprocate. As a foreigner, you're even more interesting. Expect to be grilled about every little thing. 6. Standing in line is not a thing. Turks don't queue, they bunch. At a bus stop, they'll form a super tight cluster. Once the bus arrives, it's every man for himself. Yes, it does include women and children. Stand your ground and work your elbows. 7. Street vendors are everywhere. But buying stuff on the street is not always advisable. Some stands only cater to tourists. No self-respecting Turks will ever approach them. Others are set up illegally. It's very common to see vendors pack up and leave suddenly. That means they'd received a tip about a police raid. They'll be back in the same spot the next day. 8. Urban picnics are trashy. Turks love picnics and barbecues. They even have barbecues on their tiny balconies. On weekends, every city park will be filled with families. They come equipped with grills, rugs, and little tea stoves. They leave behind mounds of rubbish. This creates serious environmental problems. 9. You can't refuse food. Turkish hospitality can be overwhelming. If you're invited to someone's home, be prepared. The hosts will go out of their way to please you. Ironically, it can make you feel pretty uncomfortable. A hostess will insist you keep eating her food. She'll keep adding to your plate. Not being hungry is no excuse. In fact, there are no excuses.
I'll be very sorry if you don't eat.
Is the mildest rebuke. In some cases, your hosts might even get mad if you refuse.